Hey everybody, welcome back to Gears and Glory. It is me and Liv today. We are going to be finally been teasing it over and over, walking you through the new 2026 regulations. I downloaded many a PDF from the FIA website to make this episode happen. So, yeah, finally getting into it, getting a little closer. What are we, less than 50 days out from Melbourne?
It's got to be. It's like the
It's
start of
something,
it's
yeah.
really close.
Something
Really.
like that. So we're gonna go through all of the changes. I will cite my sources. This is the majority is from the FIA website from their press release. They have linked under the 2026 regulations. They did a really good job of explaining it, but I followed up on a couple of things and I downloaded some of like the explicit regulations from the PDFs because they have more specifics there. Yeah, I mean, without further ado, there's no race, there's no sessions to talk about really. We'll be talking liveries and we'll be talking testing later. So I'm just gonna get right into the regulations. So all right. So the first thing that I think a lot of people have already kind of understood with the new regulations is what the FIA is calling a nimble car concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, which basically means the cars are smaller and lighter. And one thing that I took from, before I get into a lot of it, one thing that I took from the regulations in general is they want to make it easier to overtake. They want to make the battles closer and like more aggressive almost. So there's like a
Yeah.
lot in the regulation updates that have to do with, well, if the cars are smaller, because they've gotten bigger and bigger, if they're smaller, they can overtake easier. If they're lighter, they should be able to be more aggressive and not weighed down by as much weight.
I hope you can't hear that.
No, I think you're good. You're good. But yeah, so the cars will be lighter by about 30 kg or about 66 pounds, which it's lighter. At the end of the day, the car still weighs 726 kilograms for 2026 is the maximum weight or I don't know. It's like the weight of the car has to be that.
That's
Um,
not a lot.
yeah, so then that's about 1,600 pounds. And
Yeah.
I was like, I needed to like comprehend how heavy that was. So it's about 3 or 4 horses of weight. That's a
I totally
lot.
feel like a couple of grown men could pick that up though.
How many? How many grown men?
Maybe like six. No, I'm giving them too much faith. Maybe like 8 or 10.
6 to 8, I think, if they're very strong men, could do it. Because one horse is between 4 and 500 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, if they go to the gym, which I mean they'd have to be like F1 mechanics or like pit
Yeah,
crew,
yeah,
surely they could pick up at least 100 kilos each. And like
yeah,
if there's like seven of them, that's like basically that.
yeah, yeah. So, well, anyway, yeah, it's about when I was like writing this out, I was like 3 to 4 horses worth. I was like, my horse girl history is showing. So
Well, she found the horse reference.
I know I had to work it in somehow. So yeah, it seems like, oh, this was the other thing I was looking up of like, there's so much discussion, especially with like fuel weight during the races of like,
Yeah.
this much weight connect like it equals basically this much time gained or lost depending on whether you're increasing or decreasing weight. And I couldn't find a good metric or a good source. Like it was Reddit or it was like, you know, a really broad range of like you could gain like hundredths and thousandths of a second to about up to 1/10 of a second for each it didn't say how per each kilogram lost with the 2025 and prior regulations could net up to a 1/10 faster lap time. So like basically I'm like with the cars being lighter, it seems like they may be able to go faster, but there's a lot of other pieces in the regulations that kind of counteract that or manage the expectations there. So I don't know that we'll obviously I don't think we'll get faster cars off the bat. I think everyone's going to suck. And I've been saying that since we knew the regulations were going to be changing this season. I'm really excited about it, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I don't know that it's going to immediately translate to faster cars, but I think it has the opportunity to net to like breaking a lot of like we this past 2025 season there were a lot of records that were broken. I think that we might see that in this new regulation all over again, which like
I don't know if this is like crazy or like me just like believing the hearsay, but I've seen a couple of the people agree with me on like TikTok and like social media.
hmm.
This is totally George Russell's year for the championship. Like,
Karoon, not that we love Karoon, but like Karoon said it's looking George Russell. It's looking like George Russell.
but also like the fact that Toto Wolff, like even at the end of last season, was saying our 26 car is like hitting over 400 kilometers an hour.
That's
Like,
bananas.
and I don't know if you saw the video of like they were testing in Silverstone or something, and George was watching Kimi go down the straight, and he was like,
Uh-huh.
"That is fast." And like even like looking at it from
For him to say that.
it looked fast. Like I have faith in Mercedes, and maybe I shouldn't, but like part of me, like I just want to see George Russell win a championship, and I
Yeah.
just, well,
Well, and who have the rumors been that the teams, it's Red Bull and is it Mercedes that have figured out the power unit?
yeah, yeah,
Allegedly. Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Allegedly, Ferrari's allegedly trying to already get them like booted. I think we just need to like come to the conclusion already that like Ferrari's not got it. They admitted to building the car in the dark. It stopped on like its unveiling. Sorry
I
to
don't
say it so, but I don't think it's your year again.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, we'll see. I'll get to the power units as well. It's really interesting what they've done, and I do actually really appreciate a lot of it. But in terms of the nimble car concept, they are also making the car shorter and narrower. Again, like I said, really, I think trying to emphasize the ability to overtake more. The tracks don't really change. There's not any new ones except for Madrid, and like I'm sure that the Madrid track, which it may or may not be on the calendar, I saw that they were like not sure whether it'd be done in time.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah, don't put it on the calendar then. Like, just
Yeah,
maybe don't plan on, like, just whatever.
maybe
Anyways,
just Canada. We don't need Madrid.
yeah, there's plenty of races. But so like the width of the tracks isn't changing. It's the only thing we can affect is the width of the cars. So the press release said that the quote front wing narrowing by 100 millimeters, which is 10 centimeters. Um, so that is going to get narrower, and I believe that the rear wing will also be getting narrower. And so that's part of the nimble
Yeah,
car concept is I think the size and weight, but there's some other stuff I think that is just going to make the driving of the car and the behavior of the car and the way the car can affect its own performance is much more dynamic and like changeable during like a given period, especially like during a race.
yeah,
So I'll briefly get into active aero as part of this, but I have a whole section on active aero. So the front and rear wings are going to have the active components. The front wing is going to have two, the rear wing is going to have three, which should be pretty exciting. I think it's going to be tricky. This is one thing that I wonder what your opinion is
oh,
I think it's going to be tricky to learn how to talk about. Like I have no idea how like Sky Sports or F1 TV are going to talk about like the individual components or if they're going to talk about it at all. Like is that part of the stuff that we see from like them like in 2025 like obviously they adjust the arrow and like the wing flap angles and stuff and they just kind of like mention it in passing but like it seems so intentional. I like don't know how much or how they're going to talk about it even.
I think like the extent of it's gonna have to be, oh, they're in straight mode, oh, they're in corner mode because like
Mhm.
dirt
Mhm.
in a corner. But I think it
Yeah.
was a video of the Ferrari, maybe. I don't know if you saw it, but it was like up close of the front wing.
So cool.
But like also like at the same time, it looks really good. But like I feel like you're only going to be able to notice that if it's a close up angle. So like you said, I don't think the broadcast is really going to be able to like I can maybe touch on it, but I don't think they're going to be able to
Mhm.
go in depth because especially those like really wide camera angles where you're seeing 10 cars, no shot you're
Yeah.
seeing there, front wing open or closed, whatever it's doing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and I
yeah,
wonder also I like didn't really look too much into this because this is all just like from basically based off the press release and I did some more research to make sure I could understand enough to talk about it. But I wonder also like team by team how unique they're allowed to be team by team, right? Because like
yeah,
DRS was your flap goes down, your flap comes up. Obviously, you can adjust the rear wing itself. So,
yeah,
but like outside of that, like are you allowed to adjust the way in which the flaps move, I
yeah.
guess. So, I mean, I don't know. If you know the answer to that, let us know. I don't know.
And for a lot of these topics, we will preface if there's something we've not gone into really depth about, I can almost assure you can go to Brittany's TikTok. There's an in-depth video about it. She's killing it with the regulation videos.
Yeah, she's got us
So,
fed with information for sure.
so if you want like
So
in-depth explanation, check her out. But
she
we'll give you the
knows,
basics. We've
she
got
knows her stuff. Enough to understand and talk about it to the level that we can talk about it, probably. But yeah, I think a lot will be like live learning as we
I think
go.
similar with like every year of regulations though. I think the teams figure it out as they go, we figure it out as we go. Like
Yeah, for everyone.
we can explain the like bare minimum of what the regulations are, but I don't think anyone like really understands them until like Red Bull or Mercedes, they figure it out. Like they figure out how you know, I don't know.
Yeah. So the last piece of the nimble car concept, there is a lot to do, and this will go into like the next piece of the nimble of the press release that I was reading is they're doing a lot to reduce dirty air, which again goes into like if there's less dirty air, it's easier to follow, you lose less time being behind cars, it's easier to overtake. So what they've added is bodywork changes. Basically, they've eliminated or banned all of the like floor work designed to create dirty air. That's no longer allowed. They use the word proscribed, which I didn't know what it meant. Basically, that means it's banned. Whatever. It sounds like counterintuitive, but yeah, they also added wake control boards to do exactly that for the air of just like make it easier to follow the car in front. So I think that this season is shaping up with these regulations now that I understand them more is probably going to be pretty ruthless.
Yeah. It sounds like we're gonna get back to like racing. Like not this like whingy. That sounds so bad. I don't really but like it sounds like it's gonna be like racing. Yeah, get rid of those DRS tracks, please.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it'll feed off of like all of these drivers are so like you have to think you're the best to be in this sport. I think that's just a fact. Like you could be, no offense, in the Alpine of 2025 or I don't know, just like
You can
whatever. You
suck.
could be in a slow car and you
Yeah.
are still there because you believe you can make it happen. And I think that
Yeah.
that's so important. And of course, that gets tempered within what is possible. But like, if you don't believe you can do it, you're not Nico Hulkenberg getting his podium in a.
Exactly.
So I think that will flip the switch back on and like that dog in them, the like the creature inside of them that wants to win, I think will be allowed to be a lot more like noisy and aggressive in a good way. Like you said, like true racing.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. I touched on the dirty air management, the wake management. Yeah, the regulations are shutting down the parts of the aero package that are intentionally creating dirty air. And again, yeah, making it easier to follow cars ahead and disrupt the downforce less. Let me see. There was one sentence at the end of the nimble car concept section that I really wanted to read. So this is direct from the FIA website and it says, quote, the changes will lead to downforce being reduced by 30% overall on the car in general, and drag falling by somewhere in the region of 55%. While that will mean cars are slower through corners, they will be quicker out of those corners, and though lap times will initially be slightly slower than currently, the expectation is that teams will recover that lost time rapidly as development cycles mature. So basically, like as people understand how the cars work, I think that we're going to see exactly what they're saying, like a quick ramp up because the cars are lighter, they're going to be quicker. They have like the potential to be.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of figuring that out during the season. It's going to have to happen. Like it's the first season of the regulations. That's just like the nature of it.
I'm actually so excited. Especially like with the addition of like these two new teams or like one new team and one team switching branding. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm really I'm excited to have. Well, I thought it was super cute because Checo and Valtteri both have double numbers, so it's like 11 and 77. I just thought that was cute. It feels to me like they're matching. So
Always in like a matching pair. Like when he was with Max, it was like 1-11.
yes,
Oh,
he's always kind of matching his teammates. That's so true.
I'm so excited to see him back on the grid.
Yeah,
I know we all like not hated on him, but I know we're all like, come on, mate. But you know what? It really wasn't a him problem. It really was.
Unfortunately, it really was the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, RIP, but props to you T, for that one practice session, I think, or qualifying session where he outqualified Max.
the
But
one that I knew.
yeah, let's see. Big ticket item that I wanted to talk about was the active arrow.
Yeah.
So very exciting. Those are the active elements that are on the front and rear wings. They're very cool, but essentially DRS is like dying and being reborn into active arrow because it's so interesting to see how they function. They basically function how DRS functions in that on the front wing flaps go down and the rear wing flaps go down. So it's like it's like an evolution of DRS, not so much as it is going away.
Yeah.
And like the function is going to be different, but like the mechanic of like active arrow is like the flaps go down and the flaps come up. So in my heart, DRS is alive.
Oh yeah.
Um,
It's just it's like really populated.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like you mentioned, there's going to be those two modes. There's straight mode and corner mode. Straight
Yeah.
mode, the way I understand it, is the mode that the cars are going to be in, I believe, the majority of the time. So anytime that the car is not in a corner, it will be in straight mode. So I think that it'll be it'll be less of we're going into straight mode and more of we're coming out of corner mode.
Yeah.
So straight mode has the flaps down. So it's allowing the air to go through. And so interesting. There's like, this part is not super clear to me. So what I have written is that basically applies DRS to the flaps we talked about on the front and the rear wing. So the front wing flaps go down, the rear wing flaps go down. There are areas in which you can use straight mode. So it's kind of like DRS zones, but in these predetermined areas, you can apply straight mode with no rule about how close you are to the car in front. Like if you're in that area, you can employ straight mode.
Right. So you don't have to like be within that second.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused with that. Are they in straight mode all the time and going into corner mode for the corners, or are they in like just like a neutral mode and then going into straight mode when they need to, going into corner mode when they need to? Do you know what I mean?
Unclear. Yeah, unclear. Because they talk about two modes, because then the other mode is corner mode, which is applied or activated when you enter the corner. That has the flaps closed to increase downforce to make the car stickier in the corner and take it at a little bit of a higher speed. Like I said earlier from the quote from the press release, like it allows the car to come out of the corner at a higher speed.
So it must just be the two modes, and then they just flip between the two then.
Right. But that is so interesting though, because that's the one piece that I couldn't really find is like of the tracks. Like obviously we had the DRS zones.
Yeah.
But if there are only two modes, you have to have like the corners accounted for and the straight mode area accounted for, so that everything equals 100% of the track. Like you can't have corners and straight mode area equal 80% because then there's 20% to account for what mode is the car in.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think that's, I have no
there's
idea.
parts of the track that I'm gonna sound so dumb, but there's parts of the track that aren't exactly a straight but aren't a corner. Like they might be
Right.
a little wavy, but they're not like a straight or a corner. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Yes. I'm
So, like,
thinking
or
of in Spa, Eau Rouge.
yeah.
There's no DRS, but it's also not a corner. You can take it pretty straight. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't want corner mode in there.
No, but I also don't know if you'd want straight mode if it's adding speed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
That's so interesting. That is a good thing to follow up on. Maybe I'll make a note of like, is there a secret third mode? Because they've only told us about two, or like what is neutral, you know?
yeah, maybe that's something that's just we're just gonna figure it out as it goes along.
Yeah,
But that's what
I'm
like. I knew there was the two, but then
is there like neutral? Yeah.
It needs to be like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know. That's a good question.
We'll ask for it.
Yeah. If anybody knows, you are welcome to tell us.
Yeah, please. Explain it.
I'm writing that down. Secret third mode? Question mark? Active arrow. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. So one of the pieces that the FIA press release emphasizes is that DRS was largely designed for and aimed at overtaking. So like, the DRS flap going down would give you an explicit speed increase of whatever it was, 5-10 kilometers per hour. Instead, the goal for active arrow is to preserve energy. because the new boost for 2026, instead of it being DRS, drag reduction boost, it's going to be an energy boost.
Yeah. RIP.
So yeah.
That's so sad.
Um, I know. It's going to be an adjustment, I think, for sure. And so this is actually something interesting. I'm wondering if we should get James back to see how he feels about the new regulations, especially because of the way that the new regulations have to do with engine power and this almost similarities that they have to Formula E now in terms of conserving energy to deploy later.
Yeah.
Obviously, Formula E has like a battery that they can run out to zero. In
Yeah.
F1, the battery is supplemental. So it's not 100% of the energy that they get, but that's one of the big pieces that is involved in the 2026 regulation update is they're introducing overtake mode. Not mom, not manual overtake. Mom being manual overtake mode. All of my
Yeah.
graphics that are mom are dead in the water. I should have posted them when I had the chance.
I say do it anyway. It'll still be mum in our heart.
Yeah,
Mom? How do you say that? Because we say mum.
mom,
Mom.
mom.
Mom. Okay.
But yeah,
Mom.
so no mom. Overtake mode. And this is an electrical battery boost. So one of the pieces that I'll talk about later is that they are leaning into sustainability a lot more, which is really interesting. So with the battery, almost like attack mode, the way they have in Formula E, overtake mode is going to work similar to DRS in that there will be predetermined sections in which you can apply overtake mode, and you do still have to be within 1 second of the car ahead. So, like, functionally,
It
the
is.
overtaking mechanism and the boost for overtaking is going to work the same. So, like, instead of it being DRS, it's now that battery boost,
Yeah.
but the rest of the rules apply. I guess, don't really understand how that folds into active aero zones on the track.
Yeah. There's
And
so many like
it'll be interesting to see if like the overtake mode areas are not just straights
yeah. Are they gonna be like into a corner?
or out of.
Out of,
Could you
yeah.
imagine a boost coming out of the corner? You just like rocket ahead.
That would be like lethal.
Yeah,
That would be like 10 seconds ahead off the start.
yeah. So that will be super, super interesting. I think one of the things that it comments on is it will make racing a little bit more unpredictable
Yeah.
because it's less about, okay, he's like within a second, DRS is coming up, he's going to get ahead in a big car that's hard to overtake. Like those two things are going away. The cars will be smaller and easier to overtake, and it'll be less about like the actual speed increase because
Yeah.
power and speed are not one for one.
No.
Like it's so interesting to me. I'm getting, when I was doing this research, I was getting so excited about the season. I was like, in March can't come fast enough.
Yeah. Because it's like
Um,
so much has changed, but also not much has changed. Like I can't explain it. Like it's the same, but it's so different, but it's not.
yes, yes. I think
That's
because they're using a lot of the same principles and fundamentals that like, especially because that's got to be tough. Is you want to update the regulations, keep the sport fresh, go toward the goals that you have in mind, like sustainability, overtaking, whatever. But you have to kind of keep the fan in mind when you're making these changes.
yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
you change the whole thing around. I'm not going to know what Alex Jake's talking about on the broadcast. I'm not going to be interested. You'll lose me and my viewership.
Yeah. And
So
I think that's what's so fun. Like, obviously, I've seen quite a few regulation changes happen, whatever, but like, I've never gone this in depth and like been this intrigued by like a regulation change. And like,
yeah,
rather over the season, just slowly understanding, like, I'm going into the season with a decent understanding. And I feel like, I don't know whether it's like these regulations specifically or just the whole concept of actually understanding them. I'm so excited. Like, I feel
yeah,
like I'm gonna like off the bat be like, mom,
yeah,
not mom. Yeah.
yeah. And it'll be interesting to see too. I'm really looking forward to see how the broadcast and like the media talk about everything. I think that will be a big shift in the discussion around things. Like it'll be the same because we're still talking about the overtaking aids. We'll still be talking about the power available. It's just the
Yeah.
language that we're using will be different and changing. So that will be
Yeah.
very cool. But actually, speaking of power, they are new power units. We were talking about Mercedes and Red Bull being up ahead. They had a quote in the press release that said that apparently the new regs allow a quote 300% increase in battery power. So they're reducing the amount of power that comes from traditional like petrol, gasoline, like fuel.
Yeah.
And they're increasing the amount, apparently up to 300% from battery. So I am really looking forward to see the Ford Red Bull combo situation. And if Mercedes has it figured out, they have it figured out.
Yeah. I'm very intrigued how this like Red Bull Ford partnership's gonna go, because obviously like it's always
Yeah.
like a bit of concept of Ford versus Ferrari, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to put this in like a non like weird way. Ford seems unreliable, and I don't really know how to explain that. But like their engines, especially, they, I mean, they've gotten better in like supercars, like the Australian V8s, like whatever. They've gotten a bit better there, but like as the years go on, Ford seems to be a bit unreliable. It seems to have gotten better again. Like obviously they're in other categories and they are improving, but
Okay.
like back like in like what 2024 or 2023, whenever they announced that they were going to be switching to Ford,
Uh-huh.
I was that's a choice. That's a
Yeah.
choice. But I'm really intrigued to see how the partnership goes, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see whether this is like Red Bull's like rise to the top again or their downfall by going to Ford.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. It's interesting that the rumors are saying that it's Red Bull and Mercedes, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm with you. I'm really looking forward to it.
Ferrari, please figure it out. Please
Please.
figure something out.
I'm actually begging on my knees. Please. Please, please,
It's
please,
been
please.
like what 17, 18 years without a championship. Wrap it up.
Fix it. Hit it with a stick. Whatever. I don't really care.
Something. The dark building your car in the dark wasn't necessary. Like put on a lamp.
Oh
Something.
my God. Yeah, so some of the other things they talked about were, like I mentioned, the sustainable racing. So, part of that is the push toward more electric energy. So instead of it being DRS, it's the push toward the focus on the battery. And in addition, they said, quote, from 2026, all F1 cars will use advanced sustainable fuels. So, from what they had in there, they're like relatively sustainably sourced compared to like traditional fossil fuels and like traditional oil. So it's a move in the right direction. Shout out Sebastian Vettel, like have to have his name as part of the conversation when talking about sustainability in F1.
Yeah.
And sustainability in general, I think, but he's been such a huge advocate
Yeah.
and like he's good, which like it shouldn't matter if you're good or bad at the sport to listen to you about sustainability, but the fact that he is like a multiple world champion,
Yeah.
he has like the weight behind his name of like, oh, well, like Sebastian Vettel is saying this, like we should probably give it some attention. Like if he turns on us, our goodwill could be tarnished toward F1 as an entity because people will side with Sebastian Vettel, the handsome bastard, you know?
Exactly. Cheeky thing. And it's so nice to, this is so off topic, but it's so nice to see him gone from such a literal devil. He was a devil. He was
Demon
a stir.
child when he was like
Yeah.
12 years old in the
And
car.
then turned around into this like old man looking thing. A very attractive old man, might I add. But like he's like save the bees, sustainability, and I love it. It's such like I don't know, maybe it was always inside of him. It must have been. But
Yeah.
like, hello,
Yeah,
hello,
no, I love it. Yeah, he has
welcome.
those t-shirts that are like whatever Grand Prix will be the first one underwater, or like whatever year will be the first underwater whatever Grand
Yeah,
Prix, which is like true. Like the ice caps are melting. We need to save our planet. And like
yeah,
I don't know. It is nice that they are making an effort because they could choose not to.
yeah,
And something is something. It's not nothing.
yeah. And I think a
So,
lot of people were probably like, you know, there's no way to make F1 sustainable. Like it's just one of those sports where it's never going to happen. So the
yeah,
fact
which
that they've gone to like the depths and the lengths to find a way to even make it slightly more
yeah.
sustainable
Yeah.
to
And
them.
like this is probably like a percentage of their effort. If they wanted to make F1 sustainable, they have the funds and the brains to do it. So I think
Yeah,
that it's the fact that it's a business at the end of the day and they have to focus on other things, but like they are dedicating part of that energy towards sustainability, at least in name, which is better than nothing. It
got to
could be
count.
more. I will say it could be more, I'm sure, with the amount of resources that they have, but I will also take what I'm given in this situation,
I was
basically.
saying thank you. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So let's see, a couple more changes. Yeah, there's only two more things I wanted to talk about. So there's updates to safety, which happens every year. They just find better ways to do things. So they have, quote, revised front impact structure and increased side intrusion protection, and, quote, basically just better front and side crash protection. Very important. There are parts of the cars that are now designed to hold higher weight. So in the situation where there is weight applied to areas of the car, they are now better at withstanding that.
Yeah.
And there are apparently new, quote, lateral safety lights to be introduced to identify ERS status.
Yeah.
Now, what is ERS? I don't know, but there's going to be new flashing lights. So,
No, I know what ERS is. Brittany's spoken about it. I don't know, I
oh,
keep calling her Brittany. Brit's spoken about it. It's something to do with like
the
the
full
energy.
government name.
I know, I keep doing it. Sorry, Brit. It's like something to do with energy recouping. But I feel like the lateral
Energy
safety,
recovery system. Energy
there it is.
recovery system. I Googled it though. I didn't have that in my brain. That's all Google.
Um, no, but I was watching or I was reading something about the lateral safety lights, and I'm so excited because I hate Spa just because it gives me anxiety. But that's
Yeah,
going to help stop cars getting T-boned because
that's
you'll be
huge.
able to see the lights. So I think
Neat, yeah.
I know they're always updating safety, but I think it's so necessary because people keep getting killed at Spa. Dark, but that's how it is. People keep getting T-boned, and something needs to change. And especially
Yes.
after um, Gabby's crash in Brazil and Checo's crash in Monaco,
Hmm.
safety needed to be updated again, definitely. But like,
Yeah.
obviously they do it anyway. But like, I think I'm hoping these things are really going to stop a car from crumbling like theirs did.
100%. Yeah, it's interesting now that I'm thinking of it, like visualizing the car in my head. I can't actually remember if there are any lights on the sides. There's clearly lights on the back,
I don't think
but
so.
this, excuse me, the sides needed them. So we have them now for 2026, which will be good.
In the wise old year of 2026,
Yeah.
finally.
The year of our Lord 2026. Okay, so let's see. The last piece were the updates to the rules. So we technically have two new teams. We have Stake transitioning to Audi, so that will still be net 10, and then we are adding Cadillac. So 11 teams, 22 cars, which means updates to qualifying was the main thing that I was looking into when I was looking at this. I haven't actually looked at whether or not points will update, but I don't think that they're changing. I think it's still going top 10. So I didn't
Yeah.
look too far into that. But to account for Cadillac, first of all, welcome Cadillac. We're very excited to have you in Formula One. Yay, 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 yay.
Very.
But yeah, 22 total cars. Oh, let's see. I really cited my sources here. I'm referencing the official FIA regulations, the PDF that I downloaded. Section B, sporting regulations. I believe this was section 4. Whatever. It has a table of contents. They did actually update the format of the PDFs. And so it used to be just like a normal PDF with a table of contents. Now the table of contents is clickable and you can
Oh,
navigate. Huge.
love
Loved
that.
it. Way easier to review the changes this season. So let's see. So Q1, Q2, Q3, same concept. The time allotted for each one has not changed. So Q1 is still 18 minutes, Q2 is still 15, Q3 is still 12. So no changes to the time, but instead of dropping the slowest 5, those two sessions will drop the slowest 6. So Q1 will drop 6, 16 cars will go ahead into Q2, at which point the slowest 6 will again be dropped and we'll have the traditional 10 car shootout in Q3.
I feel like that's going to take a minute to get used to. We're going to see somebody in like P,
Yeah.
like whatever it is usually, P15, and be like, whoo, they're just safe.
And
They're
then they'll
really,
be like psych
yeah.
or something like that. I don't know.
What?
But yeah, one thing that I did think was interesting was that they did not choose to extend the sessions.
Yeah.
I don't really know if you need to, but it feels like an extra minute could have been helpful to account for just like on track traffic. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because qualifying can be so different depending on the track you're at, but there's often a lot of downtime in between. So, like, cars will fully go back into the garage, whatever. But also, sometimes there's like barely a second to get your second lap out.
Yeah.
So, I I'm really curious to see how increased traffic is affected because that's like the number one thing to keep in mind during quali.
Yeah.
But
I
there's
don't
no
know.
extra time to account for extra cars doing laps. But like, does it matter? But like, I feel like it does. You know what I mean?
I get you. I like even like 30, obviously they're not going to add 30 seconds, but like even 30 seconds would have helped a little bit.
To
Like
just
cars,
get
you have
to the
to
start
really
of,
time up in
yeah,
it.
yeah. Because the key is just you have to cross the checkered line before the clock is out to do a lap.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I think it will be really interesting. I'm definitely going to be, I mean, obviously, I watch usually all of the sessions. At minimum, I'll watch qualifying and the race or the sprint or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, these regulations are also going to apply to the sprint. Like, you'll be dropping the slowest 6 instead. So, like, same concept.
It's
Nothing's
still
really
got this bit like that.
changing.
Sorry.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting. I like that they preserved the top 10 shootout
Yeah.
than like top 12. Like, that would have been
The other
odd.
thing was 12.
Yeah. So,
That would be weird.
yeah, I'm sure there's some things I missed, but it feels like the best working knowledge of the regulations I've had so far. And like, if I
Yeah.
went in to watch a race or something, like, I feel like I could understand the majority
Yeah.
of what was going on. There's still the open questions of like, ooh, active
Is
arrow
it
slash is there a neutral mode? Which I'll see if I can find out. I have a feeling it's going to be really difficult to figure out. We'll ask Britt.
Yeah.
Maybe Britt knows. But
Maybe we'll ask her.
if not, she probably knows someone who does know.
Yeah, she'll know how to Google it better. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
but
It's
yeah,
gonna be very interesting. Like I think the changes are all gonna be positive. Like I don't think there's gonna be a negative to
I
them
agree.
but like I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting to me too to see that there's like more stuff for the driver to do. Like they've always had a little bit of control over like the car and like they can like request brake bias changes and stuff like that. But like with the addition of active arrow on top of the overtake mode, it's not just
Do
like
it
the
yourself.
DRS and the normal stuff. It's like DRS and active arrow and all of the other stuff that you're allowed to control traditionally. So
I think
yeah,
our in-car mechanics strategists like Carlos Sainz, who like to be like, we're doing this, we're trying this, going to love it.
I think
They're gonna
so.
love
Yeah,
control.
which
That
I
like
think it would be I think it would be silly if we failed to mention the fact that Williams is not going to be participating in the first round of like testing or
yeah,
whatever it is.
down week or whatever they're calling it.
Ah, I don't like it.
I think it's a positive. Like I don't know, maybe they're just trying to pretend that they're really bad so that everyone's really shocked when they're really good.
Yeah, but that happened last season and then it was like aggressively medium.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say aggressively.
I'm concerned that Ferrari hasn't said, "Hey, we're not participating in testing." Like I fear they need time to fix their issues before they put that in front of anybody.
I'm scared.
Yeah. For those of you that didn't see, during their car reveal, livery reveal, whatever it is they do, during the first minute that car was on track, it stopped and the mechanics had to run and go rescue it. And I'm pretty sure Charles Leclerc got out and stepped in poo.
No.
I don't know if you've seen those photos. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but he stepped out and the look on his face as he like lifts up his shoes, like. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but that was a mess.
It's one of those years, huh?
Yeah, it really
Well,
is.
we'll see. There's still hope because none of the races have started.
No, and that's the thing. Like we keep saying, everyone's learning. Everyone's learning these new regs, except for Mercedes and Red Bull, supposedly, because they're just brilliant. But there's time. I don't know. Maybe we'll see Pierre Gasly win the World Championship this year.
Yeah, you can put that energy out there for sure.
I hope. I'll just
Wait, other piece of news. Did you see that apparently Christian Horner is in talks to buy Alpine?
yeah, get out. Leave us alone. You know what else Christian Horner has to do? Encroach on Australia. He's doing live shows here. We don't want you.
Of what? Is he freaking singing?
I don't know. Like, I want to go to the David Coulthard and Mika Hakkinen live show in Sydney, but I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you actually doing on stage? Because if
I
you're
don't
just
want to
telling
listen to
old
you.
school
I'm so
stories,
sorry.
like, been there, done that. I don't need to hear your stories in person.
Unless he's going through his WhatsApp, I don't care.
WhatsApp, or like you two are gonna like be in a boxing ring fighting out your old problems and like tell us all the law. I'll be there. I'll pay the $180. Christian Horner, I wouldn't pay a cent. And the like news that was announcing it was like, oh, the well-awaited or something, like basically saying we want him here. No, we don't. Do not come to my town.
Do not come to my town. Oh my god, that's so
That was
funny.
wild. He's doing like 3 cities. Please don't. He's going to Perth. Leave Daniel Ricciardo alone. Leave him alone.
Got free. But anyways, I feel like that's kind of that on the regulations on some news items. I just kind of wanted to mention.
Yeah. Other than that, Red Bull's livery is beautiful.
It's
Welcome
so
back.
throwback. I love it.
It's really nice. Okay, to be fair, I don't know if any other liveries or cars have been released, but I've only seen Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari.
Ferrari.
And I'm not mad at any of them.
Did you see the one that said that Lewis was gonna look like an egg? With his yellow helmet inside the pool of white.
That makes so much sense though. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's gonna have to grow on me, the Ferrari one. I'm kind of jury's out right now. I saw a picture where it looks like one from the movie Rush. So I'm like, okay, the Niki Lauda of it all could bring me around to this, but I think I'm gonna have to see it in action. It's getting whiter. I don't know.
You just made it like a metallic-y red. That would be sick. I saw somebody with like a metallic-y red pattern. Gorgeous.
Yeah. I think I miss the old, like, not even old, but like maybe 3 seasons ago with the like black and red and the black Ferrari on the rear wing. Yeah. That's hard to beat. But also, I understand.
19 Ferrari, not even just the livery, just like the shape of the car as well. I'm never getting over that. Never.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't.
Can't make me.
Yeah.
Mercedes' livery is the best they've had in like a really long time. I'll say it.
Whose?
Mercedes.
It's so silver, isn't it?
It's like got the stripes of it. Like, let me pull.
Yes.
It's like, I quite like it. What are you called? Mercedes. Oh, that is not it. That's esports. Which one? That one.
Mercedes Benz.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
It's darker than it has been, I feel like. Oh, but yeah, I see what you mean with like the lines. I like that.
Oh my god, do you know what it is? I'm so stupid. It's the Adidas 4 stripes.
3, no? They have more than them.
Oh.
Maybe it's just a design thing.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm not stupid.
I don't think you are.
I really like it. I think it looks so nice.
Oh, it's not even silver. That's what it is. It's black with silver accents.
Yeah, and the like that like George Russell like aqua. Love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
I think it's just simple but effective. Yeah. Like it's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that basically sums up
it. I think yeah, let us know if we got anything fully wrong, I guess, or if you know any of the answers to our questions. We will be reaching out to Britt to let us know more about Active Aero or where to find more. But yeah, I think we should link I'll link the press release in the description of this episode. Right. If you care to do any of your own research.
Have a look too, in case maybe, I don't know, maybe we're confusing. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Have a read.
Yeah.
But yeah, in we go to the shakedown testing, whatever it is. 5 days. They could be on track for 3 days. I don't know if we get to see any of that. I don't think it's broadcast because it said it's like a closed testing.
I'm sure we'll hear about it regardless.
I feel like there'll be some sort of media reports about it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's going to be like Barcelona testing where like Fernando Alonso like got zapped and nobody could say anything about it because it wasn't broadcast. I've said so far, but yeah. On to testing, and before you know it, we'll be back into race recaps. I think we need to do bingo cards for 2026 again because a lot of us were really close with 2025.
Yeah, well, when Alex and Lily got engaged, that was one of my squares, was that 2 drivers would get engaged.
They had to do that in 2026 just to ruin your bingo.
No, I think it should count.
It counts.
Or whatever.
It's fine. It was close enough.
Right. Well, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.